If I offended you by calling you family, I apologize. I'm moving more into the collective. Family actually means slave and servant, and none of y'all are slaves. None of y'all are servants. If you know better, you do better. The more that I don't learn to pop shit on YouTube. I actually learn to be corrected. So as you write your notes, as you journal, as you tune in and tap into the higher frequencies and the higher consciousness, you're not doing this to sound cool, to tell your mama, I've been listening to the Hood Mystic, and the Hood Mystic said you need to stop going to church, mama. Your mama gonna look at your grown ass and say, you living in my house. How you gonna tell me what I need to stop doing? You need to stop listening to Hood Mystic if all it's doing is telling you to tell me what to do, and you ain't taking none of the niggas' advice. So with that being said, I want to encapsulate you into a world that is ubiquitous, that is all around you, that is the most important world that you'll ever interface with. And this is the inner world. The inner world consists of drive. You can take a note on this if you are writing and taking notes. Dreams, ritual, imagination, vision, energy. So to understand this matrix, you must understand your dreams. You must tap into ritual. You must tap into your imagination. You must tap into your visions, and you must understand your energy, i.e. your inner world, i.e. drive. Please take notes on that. Because if a nigga scam you or flim you, I'ma just say it's your fault. Because what about the scam? What about the scam was a part of your dream? What a part of the flim? What a part of the flim was a part of your ritual? Nothing. You are a lazy spiritualist. My problem is that I've supported people seeking spirituality for permanence when I'm going to be spiritual forever, perpetually, for the rest of my life. I need more people that is willing to take this fight with me and understand spirituality as opposed to doing it to get something in return. Family means slave. That might have sound crazy. Please let me explain myself. New information and sharing new information. So let's deal with this. Family. Now, and this is online etymology dictionary. The early 15th century name for family was servants of a household. So if I'm a prince or a king, the people who run my house are my family. Period. That don't mean that we in relations with them. That don't mean that I love them. That means that when I want some rice with some eggs over easy, your stupid ass better come and bring that shit pronto or you get kicked out my house. Latin, familia, la familia. Family servants. Can y'all read this? Can y'all read this? Can y'all see? Family servants, domestics collectively, the servants in a household. Members of a household, the estate, property, the household, including relatives and servants. Abstract noun formed from families, servant, slave. So what it turns out to be and what it morphs into be is just another part of the illusion, another part of the game. The reality is that we are souls and we are a collective, and family is a confusing ass word to be just spewing out. These niggas will call you family and won't even ask your family for $20 right now. Motherfuckers swear they ain't got it. But I digress. Y'all love y'all family so much, but claim y'all spiritual. Who lying? Who lying, me or you? Who lying, me or you? Trigger alert, trigger alert. Mercury exits its shadow this week, effectively ending Mercury retrograde on this channel. I'm proud of us. We have been charting Mercury retrograde since its pre-shadow, and we have worked it all the way through and moved it into its post-shadow phase. This week, tomorrow, Mercury will exit its post-shadow phase and will leave completely out of this Mercury retrograde energy. And my personal download for this Mercury retrograde period is what I will share to open up this conversation. So thank you guys for joining me. I really do appreciate you guys being here. And please take notes on the share. Please ask questions. You know, I attempt to teach during my YouTube lives. I don't attempt to entertain. And the thing about teaching is that this is for the person who is listening, not the person that's passively listening, because people going to click on this video, they're going to click off this video. But I'm here providing the information. So please, please, please in tune to this information for your personal self. So during this particular Mercury retrograde, as it was leaving its post shadow, I was thinking about Buddha. Something just came over me like Buddha, 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 Buddha. But then I remember in my Vedic astrological studies that Mercury means Buddha. And I was like, wow, in Vedic astrology, Mercury means Buddha. And we have been through all of this mercurial energy with the mystery school, money magic, all types of mercurial marketing, just Mercury doing the damn fool in my personal life. And it got me into a point where I could clearly see the Buddha within myself. But understanding, seeing the Buddha within myself is also seeing how I could easily remove the sight of the Buddha within based upon my emotions, based upon my beliefs. And as I was doing research, I came across this infographic. Believe nothing, no matter where you read it, unless it agrees with your own reason and your own common sense. We're going to be talking about a new moon, and we're also going to be talking about Mercury transits in our astrological conversation. And it's very interesting to talk about the transits and talk about what resonates with you and what doesn't resonate with you and so forth and so on. But from this perspective, I want you to fully in tune how your soul has been speaking to you personally, not what you read, not what I'm talking about specifically, but really uncovering some shit throughout this video of how your soul has been clearly speaking to you, but your emotions have clearly thrown you off the sense and throw you off the loop because Mercury has shown you shit that your confidence and your self-esteem could never fully accept. But as you kind of knock yourself out the box and move yourself out of position, what are you going to do? Are you going to continue move in the wrong direction? Are you going to get back on the horse and move towards your particular truth? Hopefully during this Mercury retrograde period from September 6th to now, you can understand that your spiritual life is not a game. You could wish for shit, you could hope for shit, you could want for shit, but if you don't have a personal level of inner peace or peace of mind, fuck what you want, fuck your ambitions, because if you don't get it and you're not emotionally stable, the moon, then you're going to be a hazard and a detriment to yourself. So are you seeking truth while also understanding that Mercury is never going to give you the full truth, because the full truth is a level of success and I've did it. I am the #1 spiritual person. A lot of these spiritual people, because y'all put them in that y'all put them on that pedestal, think that they know the truth for a worldwide. They just got a one-off understanding of the truth because of their ego. I come here to tell you that nobody knows your personal truth. This is for you to understand. And it's going to take a long ass time. And even after you took a long ass time to realize your truth, then you have to continue on. Past this long ass time that you waiting for something, the reality is that this is the reality that I'm coming to. You'll never get what you set out to get. However, you setting out to get it is what you should be doing. Knowing that you'll never get it, but moving like you gonna get it at any moment. Sugar Free, the great poet, has once stated, "Stay ready so you never have to get ready." It's like, the reason that he says that is because you could be chilling all day, right? And you get a call. And if you ain't ready for that call, your karma for not being ready is that you miss out on that opportunity. And you might really need that fucking money. So at a certain point, you might see a young lady looking good, just chilling around the house. Meaning, or even more so, the idea that I always try to get across is don't look good when you have to go out. If you go out and look good, like you do, you brush your teeth, do your hair, put on makeup, but when you at the crib, you looking crazy, well, you're not staying ready. You gotta get ready. Thus, you always gonna be behind the 8 ball. I should be able to call you like, hey, we about to pull up. All right, I'm outside. I was waiting on you. Damn, you stay ready. Right, because I never have to get ready. This is a very important aspect. Psychic development, feminine energy, kind of the same thing. So let's talk about this. Bud or Buddha with 1D is the planet Mercury. Buddha, Gautama Siddhartha, is a man who was a king or a prince, had a wife, had kids, didn't know that the ghetto was out here, didn't know that it was hoes out here turning tricks for $40. He thought whatever his regents told him, because he had been sheltered his whole life. He didn't know Mary Jane was out there doing something strange for a piece of change. He ain't know that. He escaped the carriage one day and saw all of this dilapidation in his village, and he said, I need to get wisdom. So he sat under a tree for years, only to go back home to his wife and kids. Meaning that we got to get both experiences out here in these streets. I feel sorry for the people who have never exposed themselves to negative energies, living in the time of 2021. Now your whole life is you running from negative energies, when the facts is you had these negative energies within you. You should have got it off your chest. If you got these sexual, which feel like demented energies, why is they demented and they exist within you? You're having the sexual downloads. Don't got shit to do with me. My shit is on something else. Me personally, I've been waking up at like 4 and doing shit. Today I worked out. And it's like I worked out from like 4 to 6. I went home and I was tired and I went to sleep and I got another good rest. So I got two, it's like I'm getting 2 good ass rest at night, but I don't have the stress of, damn, I'm waking up in the middle of the night. Oh my God type energy. I'm just more or less like, all right, I know tonight I'll probably go to sleep at like 8, 7, 8, 9, wake up 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna go to the gym, get some cardio in, right? Get tired, go home, go to sleep, right? It's amazing how your spirit is perfect, but society say you got to get 8 hours straight through. Spirit is telling me, nah, that ain't really how it goes. We need you to sleep a little bit, take a nap, wake up a little bit, do your shadow work. We gonna wake you up in the middle of the night. You gonna wake up, you gonna be fully alert, you gonna be with it. Then we're gonna take your ass back to sleep. That is my schedule. I ain't mad about it. See, it could be your schedule too. Like, you could be experiencing the same thing I'm experiencing, but your inner say that something is wrong with waking up in the middle of the night. Even deeper, you don't have a plan for when you're going to wake up in the middle of the night. So you're just going to scroll on your phone, get into like Instagram Reels and TikTok and that YouTube Shorts. Whoever created that shit, I bet you they go to jail in the next 5 to 10 years. Because they knew the psychological implications of showing you 8-second videos back to back to back. They knew that that was going to keep the phone in your hand much longer than an hour-long video of a person creating content through long-form conversations and things of that nature. They don't want you to expand your mind. They want you to be trapped in their devices. And they know how your brain works more than you probably know. You might not know that you got an 8-second attention span, but yet at the same time can see yourself be on TikTok for hours or at least 20 minutes. That's 20 minutes of content at 8 seconds a pop. You done ingested way more content probably your brain can handle. Thus, this is the plan that is being played out right before your eyes. So BUDDHI, which Buddha, the man, and Buddha, the planet Mercury, it's two separate words. One has 1 D, another has 2 Ds, but they both come from the root word BUDDHI, which means wisdom and intellect. What connects Buddha, BUDDHI is that they've all existed for truth. So you're listening to this video to suss out truth. You're reading a book to suss out truth. You're having conversations with your boyfriend or your girlfriend to get to a level of truth. A relationship, because we'll talk about the new moon in Libra. It's going to be a lot of relationships break up because a relationship is your one and only opportunity to get true intimacy, true joy, true happiness. And if you can't get that within a relationship, i.e. arguing, expectations, negative energy, then you can get that shit by yourself. One would have to have a strong partnership, a strong alliance with yourself to really weather these spiritual storms. Because people, based upon who you love, will put you through hell, part initiation, but part to get you out of your wisdom and your intellect, because you have to do the things that they want you to do. Dress like this, be like this. Don't do that. I hate it when you do that type energy. But why is yourself telling you to do that shit? And why is this person having a negative response to it? Can you control their negative response? I'll answer that for you. You can't. So if you were to act in your true self, truth, you came down to this planet for truth. Not to make a nigga happy, not to make your boss happy, not to make your wife happy, not to make your parents happy, not to make your children happy. if you act in the space of truth and buildings start to tumble, then buildings were supposed to tumble. Don't let your truth be something that you live a life avoiding. Then you get 80, 90, 100 on your deathbed, talking about all of the shit that you could have did, but you just never did because you did not connect with yourself, and you followed crash dummies your whole life, and then was mad that you woke up in pain. You was mad that you was confused about what the fuck that you should do when you got a whole soul within yourself that requires you to meditate, but you don't meditate because you're afraid of the possible outcomes. And you should be afraid of the possible outcomes because life is here for you to teach you the direction and guidance of the soul. Negative energies is to pull you to your soul. So all of y'all have reached out to me when you was fucked up. Right? And I've allowed that because I didn't realize that I can't help a person momentarily. I can't help you in a reading. I can help you in a sustained environment where you are specifically trying to tune into your soul, all the while understanding that it's going to take a long fucking time to get to a space of understanding yourself if you spent 30 some odd years understanding what you are not, trying to be something that you are not. The reworking and the rewiring is not something that's just going to happen because you pay me for a fucking reading. Even if I try my best to do the best that I can with reading your chart, we're going to have to sit here month after month after month after month, or you're going to have to really take a real attention to yourself in relation to being accountable of your spiritual development. Because these actual truths apply to everybody. There is no supreme. There is no hierarchy because we're all fucking little ants when it comes to the higher celestial understandings. We can all be washed away by a fucking typhoon like that. It's niggas who talk shit, but then if a flood come, motherfuckers would be talking about, I need a GoFundMe. Motherfuckers would be talking about, hey, can I come live with you? Was talking hot shit yesterday. Mother Nature, higher celestial consciousness, Yemaya, Oshun, Oya, the divine feminine energy is not passive. Even more so, the divine feminine energy rules your mind, your connection, your psychosis. And if y'all know anything about a woman who tells you what it is and you do what it ain't, she is not apologetic to your bitch ass, right? Y'all ever had a girl tell you what it is and you do what it ain't? Now you in court, right? She was so nice, so beautiful, so sweet. Told you what she liked. You wanted that. You said, of course. That's not me. I would never. You went left. She said, all right. Now you crying. Now you got pain that you can't even talk about because she done got you forever. And she don't give a fuck about you no more. That's the divine feminine. The divine feminine will love you today and say, get the fuck out my house tomorrow. We'll flip on your ass, right? This is why we must develop the sweetness and the softness of the understanding and the gratitude of thank you for not wiping me off the fucking face of the earth. Because nothing is worse than going through emotional turmoil. Emotions is the water. Emotions is the cycles of the moon. All of these things, if they're not in alignment, you will not have the proper intellect to tune into self. And you could look at people like me, people like Travis Mages, people like Brother Yosef, and say, God damn, them motherfuckers is deep. Them motherfuckers is deep. Anybody that you see kicking wisdom or kicking knowledge has understood their emotional cycles up to a point that they know the windows that they can talk to people. Because there's also windows of emotional peaks and valleys where energies and entities can't talk. They have to be intuitive. They have to be in their hermit phase, in their hermit energy. But why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? So they could tune into their Bud, their Buddha, their BUDDHI, their intellect, because their intellect is masterful. And it's personal, and it's specific. Hey, Trav, start LVX 777. Hey, Brother Yosef. Hey, Dreamwise, start Love, Live Life, right? Personal decisions that personally benefit them, but also assist the collective in their personal spiritual development. So when it comes to what you should do, you may ask them what their advice was, but I'm going to tell you, if you ask me, I'm going to say, follow your soul. Develop the inner peace, create the understanding that it may be difficult to just get the easy answer. But the easy answer is to be consistent with myself, be consistent in craving truth. Wake up every morning and seek it a little deeper. What is craving truth in your relationship? Not taking it for granted. Understanding your partner's needs, as opposed to assuming your partner's needs and not asking questions and going day after day after day after day after day after day after day of not dealing with the actual truth of the relationship. Because if the relationship is in a perpetual place for joy, then there's work that needs to be done. There's truth that needs to be sussed out. But if the Instagram picture is looking flavorful and you getting the likes on the IG, then who needs to crave truth? There is often confusion between Buddha, the enlightened sage who saw desire as the cause of all suffering, and Bud, the planet god Mercury, who is associated with communication, trade, and mischief. Communication, which would be what we're doing now. Trade would be your marketing ability, making sure that you putting yourself in a space to get immediate sales. And also mischief. What is mischief? Illusionary situations that move you into your soul. If Mercury doesn't present yourself with mischief, then you will continuously live in a world of illusion and glamour. Remember the bullshit that you used to do 5 years ago? Remember the bullshit you used to do 10 years ago? Why don't you continue to do that shit? Obviously, Mercury had to put some mischief in there to pull you into a deeper situation. Now, the reality is that it doesn't stop because Spirit has led you into something that has been successful. Because as soon as Spirit give you something successful, it could take that shit away because you wasn't grateful. You ever had a woman or a man do something nice for you and you ain't say thank you and you ain't give them the proper love and ashe that they deserve for doing something nice out the kindness of their heart? Will they do it again? Fuck no. Men who have a lot of money, women who have a lot of money, 10 times out of 10, they made that money through investment. So if they give you something, they're not giving it to you to waste. They're hoping to get it back in return with interest. They hoping that you take that money, invest it in something that's going to grow interest for you. But 10 times out of 10, we'll take it, waste it, and then go back to the milk, to the spout, to the titty. Like, hey, can I get some more? That shit that you gave me yesterday, can I get some more of that? No, looking like a crackhead. Both of these names can be traced to BUDDHI, the intellect, the human ability to distinguish between reality and delusion. So, does Buddha truly exist? I don't think so. I'll explain why. Buddha uses intellect to become wise. I think Buddha is more of the same as Captain America, Captain Marvel, Wonder Woman, Iron Man, things of that nature. Buddha uses intellect to become wise. Buddha uses intellect to be smart, slippery, even cunning. The two cannot be more different from each other. Buddha is associated with silence, stillness, and serenity. Buddha is associated with communication, travel, and exchange, yet both crave for truth. So it's a very interesting thing, right? BUDDHI derived from Vedic Sanskrit, the root bud, which literally means to wake, be awake, observe, heed, attend, learn, become aware of, to know, be conscious again. How does one do that? It's within the mythology. Here we have Maya. Double entendres, you gotta stick with me. BUDH is the planet of Mercury. Buddha is supposedly this guy, this prince, this king that got enlightenment, but it's all taken from the word BUDDHI. Then you have the mother of the Buddha. Her name is Maya. Now, Maya is specific to a specific concept in Hindu thought. It's a goddess, but it's also a thought, illusion, magic. So if you're looking at this from an esoteric metaphysical aspect, the mother of Buddha, the mother of the intellect, is an illusion, is magic. So if it is all an illusion, Buddha can't win. He thought that being under the tree for the rest of his life was going to be his enlightenment. He ended up being that back. The moral of the story is that he ended up being back with his parents, being back with his wife, being back with his kids. So the deeper story is, why'd you go out into the wilderness for all that time just to come back to where you started? Very essential that you start where you began at, because the first start that you had, you thought the illusion was real. You have to understand this. You want to start again, continuing the illusion, and the reality is spirit, the universe, the world, everybody is saying stop for a fucking second and examine these illusions. It's all an illusion. If it's all an illusion, I need y'all to really think about this. If you can accept that it's all an illusion, then why do you have negative energy? Why are you mad? Why are you angry? Why are you upset? This is the purpose of you understanding the illusion, so you could wash, purify, get rid of the negative energies, because the facts of it all is that it is all an illusion. You have to tap into your Mercury, your Buddha, your wisdom, your intellect, and figure out your path. That is the truth. Anything outside of that is entirely illusionary. Strength in this aspect is to be able to start again. Maya, literally, illusion or magic, literally. Okay, y'all can see that. And I'm presenting my information not as a copy and paster, but to have a consensus of different understandings, so you could gain knowledge and you could apply this knowledge, and you don't be confused about the information, nor do you take the information and make the information about me. That is my fault. That y'all don't have anything to do with that. However, this is why I'm presenting, this is a method to the madness, and hopefully y'all can understand it, and hopefully you are gaining benefits of the information. According to Buddhist legend, Mahamaya dreamed that a white elephant with 6 tusks entered her right side, which is interpreted to mean that she had conceived a child who would either become a world ruler or a Buddha. Okay, so his mother is, I just want to point this out because his mother is named Mother of Illusions. So your whole conception, this is the deeper shit. This is the what we talked about: family, being slavery, servant energy, And this is for people who are occultists. This is for people who are metaphysical. This is for people who are doing the work of illuminating your soul. You should be mature enough to love your mom already, but also understand that your mother is a realm of illusion that keeps you locked down emotionally, and everything attached to your mom, your school, your house, your upbringing, your emotions, your false intellect, because your supreme intellect is pure and it's directional. It could never be accessed in the paradigm of being in the house with your mom. Imagine you have this Buddha energy and you know that you're supposed to be online. Imagine me saying, Mom, I'm supposed to be on YouTube when I grow up in 1989. She would have legit thought that I was a crazy ass person. I couldn't even conceptualize this, but I just knew that I would be a DJ, right? I would just be like, I'm a DJ. I want to be a DJ. So my mom supported me in that. She got me turntables. She didn't get me a computer. She didn't get me a broadband internet because it didn't even exist. Your children right now, you would tell them, don't do that. When their soul is saying, this is the thing that's going to elevate you long term. Develop these skills of it could be an actor, but they be lying all the time. And you be like, stop lying all the time. You always lying about this, lying about that. Stop lying. Really, they just getting their acting chops together. This is a deeper understanding of spiritual development. And the persistence of your Buddha, the persistence of your intellect is the commitment to it. Because outside of that commitment is Mahamaya, all illusion. This is a deeper level. Most people who aren't ready to hear this conversation will cut the video off, essentially. And that's okay too. So in the Bible, there is something called the mark of the beast. There is a there is a computer app that is called Meta. Metaphysical, metamorphosis, right? Before it was called Meta, it was called Facebook, the book of faces, or face swap. And I don't know about y'all, have y'all ever met somebody off of Facebook in real life? That shit is crazy. It might even seem like people are like they're not who they say they are on that app. I love talking shit on Facebook. If you want to meet me off of Facebook, we might have to square up because I don't trust that. I personally tell people all the time, if you like me in real life, we might can date. But if you think you're gonna like me online, you got me fucked up. Cause I don't know you. You're not showing me all of what I need to see on this damn app. I don't know how your booty smell. I don't know how many condoms. Like, I done seen some weird shit. Weird shit. The Great Illusion, The Mark of the Beast, 666. Zachary Lansdowne, one of my favorite books ever. If you know, you know. Funny, it's my favorite book ever, but I always forget the title. The Apocalypse of St. John, which was recommended by Bobby Hemmett. Ever since I got that book, I've been slowly enlightening myself ever more so. But let's read this. The Great Illusion in its three forms of illusion, glamour, and Maya. We're going to reference glamour because we're referencing Maya, and we're also referencing illusion, and we're looking at all of these things as the external world. The external world, if it's good or it's bad, requires a deep distrust of one's reactions to life and circumstance. When such reactions awaken and call forth criticism, when you have a reaction to life, when you start to critique a person, I don't like that. And then you just shut it off. Separateness, I don't need that. So you just shut it off. Or pride, I'm better than that. So you just shut it off. And these could be things such as relationships. These could be things such as business ideas. These could be shit that you really want. But if you react to them critically, separately, or in pride, how are you able to move forward? And if you don't know, it's hard to know, right? If nobody is teaching you, it's hard to realize this. But your emotional reactions to your life and circumstance is not reflective of your soul. Yes, that's your mom. Yes, that's your dad. But to your soul, you've had many moms. You have many dads. You have many grandmas. I mean, if it existed in a previous lifetime, it had a mom and a dad that it loved so much. But when it transitioned, 10 times out of 10, traumatically, that mom and dad that you love so much from that past life is a distant memory. I dare you to name your mom and your dad from your past life who had sex for you to even be created, took care of you, loved you, supported you. You don't even know they even exist. Thus, it has to be illusionary. Thus, when you critique your dad, you critique your mom, you're doing yourself a disservice. When you imagine that your life problems that you are experiencing separate you from people who, in your mind, ain't experiencing no problems because he got a YouTube channel, because they got a job, or because they got a new car. There are people that are rich as fuck tuned in and tapped in to my channel right now, and you might be broke as hell. I tell y'all right now here, I get the richest person that I do reading for. I get the brokest person that I do reading for. I get them in a room right now and tell them that y'all is on the same fucking level. How about that? Your money don't make you more spiritual, and your brokenness don't make you more valuable to the world. Because a motherfucker need to help you all the fucking time. There is no permanence in this spiritual life. There is no situation. You could put on a class. I've put on classes. I've sold books. I fucking touched people's hands and they fucking broke down into tears. Motherfucker saw me this past weekend, treated me like I was damn Future or some shit. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I'm specific to awakening my personal Buddha. So I want y'all to really understand this sentence that I'm about to lay out. And let me remove my face so y'all can possibly see it a little clearer. Ignorance of the ways of the self. So ignorance means ignoring the ways. The self is the soul. So when you ignore the ways of your soul, you are led to illusion. Growing up, you could not tune into your soul because your parents would tell you, shut the fuck up. And because they tell you to shut the fuck up, you shut the fuck up all the way into your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. It's cool that your parents told you to shut the fuck up because what the fuck else is they supposed to do? But now, you grown. You have to do soul work or else you are living in a fucking illusionary paradigm. Trust me on this shit. Once caught in the net of illusion, it is extremely hard to break through it. It is difficult to recognize an illusion for having created it. Listen, if you say, I'm not going to ever be in love. Nobody is ever going to love me. You create that illusion. If I have a conversation with you and I say, well, what do you want? I really just want to be loved. Okay, you really want to be loved, but you also say that you'll never be loved. Do you see how both of those energies can't exist in the same space, and that's leading to stagnancy? So if you are experiencing stagnancy on any level, it's because your intellect, your Mercury, and your moon are disproportionate or in opposition. Intellect can be used to create. If you are a creator, if you build houses, if you are a civil engineer, if you are a twerker, and you come up with different TikTok dances, you have to go within yourself, listen to the beat, align the measurements to the specific parameters, and make sure that this is that and that is this. That is your intellect. And you can use your intellect to create all types of shit. You have to have your emotions consistently support your intellect. However, your emotions rise and fall. You are not the exception to the rule. You do not have a consistent stream of emotions. The reality is that you may need to be a certain way at a certain time. You might have a different circadian rhythm than me. You might have a different flip to my flop. Your flop might be different to my flip. It's specific to you. You got to understand how you flip and how you flop. You can create the world that you want to live in. Your emotions are telling you right now that you can't. And if you are in a world that is completely illusionary, that don't mean give up. That means take control of the illusion and have a favorable illusion, but never taking the illusion too much to the head because you've alchemized something from nothing. Have y'all ever created something from nothing before? If you've created something from nothing before, why can't you continuously do that? But if you are searching for permanence, then you will quit your spiritual journey at a certain point, when the reality is that you can never quit your spiritual journey, because your spiritual journey, it is important. It matters. So what is the mark of the beast really? The mark of the beast is the mind control over human beings. Where most of us are concerned with Maya, i.e. external illusions, we have not learned to deeply distrust our emotional reactions to life and circumstances to tap into our inner wisdom, our inner Buddha, or our inner intellect, or our inner God. We really wish that our circumstances in our life would validate our existence. But as a spiritual energy and a spiritual entity, you've had way too many lives and way too many circumstances for it to ever be bothered. The only thing that must happen is that you move outside of your fear, move outside of your unawareness and ignorance, and embrace your soul. Why would you embrace your soul? Because when you embrace your soul, you'll know exactly what it is that it is for you to do.